Hey guys, welcome to the Manager's Mindset Podcast. Today we have a guest who is a lead consultant and trainer in Jigsaw Discovery Tool, which is pretty interesting one. And she is a body language expert and a founder of Georgian Skills. And she has 14 years of experience in consulting, training, and coaching. Today, in this entire podcast, you're going to be getting a lot of insights coming up. Because we have an expert, DEEPA. Hi, DEEPA. Welcome. How do you feel?
Thank you, JV. That indeed is a very energetic introduction. So thank you so much for that.
All right. Thank you very much, DEEPA. Now, this broadcast is primarily for the first line and second line managers. And you being a body language coach, the entire podcast is going to be revolving around how to, and how to read body language and how to use body language effectively. That's going to be the objective, right? To start off with, one of the major question I have for you is why body language is really important, and why people are so emphasizing on body language.
So thank you, GV, for asking that question. Why is body language important? I will try to answer in 3 points. Okay, so 3 is my favorite number. I try to explain in 3 different ways. So number one, in India, the language changes almost after every 5 to 10 or 15 kilometers, right? It is not really possible to learn all those languages and dialects and only then think I will get better in communication.
Okay.
So why is body language important? Because it is universal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so certain gestures, such facial expressions rather, for anger, for happiness, for surprise, are universal throughout, no matter whichever continent you go.
Okay.
So how many languages do I know? I first of all start with I know body language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second, why body language is important is that, did you know that when you're verbal and non-verbal communications are in sync, are in congruence with each other, body language is also saying yes what you mean, it backs up the effectiveness of your verbal message by 12 to 13 times than a non-accompanying body language.
Okay.
The third reason, even the research and the science has proved it. So there's this very interesting research I would like to talk about by Professor Dr. Perry Balthazar in 2009. So GV, what they did in this research is they scanned the brain scans of 500 leaders and non-leaders. And one could guess with 92% of accuracy that this MRI scan is of a leader because it showed activation in different parts of the brain.
Wow.
And what were these different parts of the brain signifying? There were top 5 skills that a leader's brain showed in the MRI scan. That was motivation, planning, problem solving, ability to communicate, non-verbal. So there's actually a part in our brain which decodes body language for us. We didn't know that. There is no education or any school system that is teaching us that. So it has actually a muscle in our body that it needs to be trained. Okay. And the last but not the least was ability to see the vision, that where does the future take us? Where do we see ourselves in the future? So I guess if one wants to be a leader or even lead a team, non-verbal communication would be that. So these are the reasons and why it is important.
This is pretty interesting, right? The stats which you have given is really mind-blowing stats. And another after listening option which comes to my mind is, do people really label others after looking at their body language? Probably, are they actually using their mental filters to filter out these people are really powerful, these people are submissive, passive? Does that really exist?
Yes, indeed, that is true, GV. Back in 2014, when I was doing training programs, there was a research which says we make snap judgments about someone in 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Fast forward 2020, we are doing that in 5 to 6 seconds because everything is becoming laser sharp.
Okay.
Right? We have been exposed to more things, lot of things, more people. We kind of have the evaluation of what is the benchmarking according to my upbringing, right? So yes, we make judgments about whether we like, we don't like, whether we want, we don't want person or a thing in 5 to 6 seconds. So that's absolutely true.
It happens subconsciously, right? And
it happens subconsciously. It's one of the cognitive biases that we have, that if something looks a particular way, the image that I have in my mind is of a leader, and you resonate, you become a leader to me. So it's one of the cognitive biases that we play along, and that is what is called as halo effect, that this is the charismatic personality I was looking out for.
Okay. Now, the question which arises to me is that how the body language is broadly classified, because as far as I know is only there are two body language classification. One is postures and gestures. Are there anything else apart from that?
Yes, Jamie, definitely. There are a lot of other elements apart from that. So we also analyze the body language depending on the attire, the clothing of the person. So there is posture, there is body language, there is facial expressions. There are 7 universal facial expressions. There is tone of voice. It's not about what I am saying, but how I am saying it. That also matters. So that also comes under a non-verbal component.
So which means that the facial expressions, the tone, the attire, and gestures, postures, and all of that put together becomes the entire body language part, is it?
Yes.
Yes,
indeed.
It's going to be too difficult to manage all of that at one time, right?
So we kind of break that down into pieces, right? I mean, there is a way to analyze, which I hope I'll be able to answer in a future question.
Yeah. All right. So now, does reading the body language really helps? Because now, as you said, there are too many things. Which one I should be looking out for, and how to read it? Because cultural impact has always been there for some time.
Right.
And people are really different from each other, and their signs and symbol, mannerism, and everything is going to be quite different from people, and same things does not mean between people, right? So how to read it? Does reading helps, first of all?
Reading body language definitely helps. So in fact, JV, usually on my social media post, I keep on posting quizzes. What is your personality type? What do you understand by this? What do you understand by that? And surprisingly enough, the answers that we get from the viewers is not right. So that's where this becomes important, because I may feel very emotional about that gesture. So in any conversation, when I'm talking about body language, there are a lot of elements that will go into. The context happens, the communication happens. How most of the time we interpret the way we are feeling. But the body language of the other person may be something else. Is my interpretation of that body language right? That is why you need to understand what is the positive, what is the negative body language. And overall, as a body language coach, I believe there is nothing positive or negative. It's how to use a particular gesture that helps you in your purpose. So if my purpose is, during the conversation, I don't want to make the other person feel important, do this, you will come across as powerful leader, or you will give the message across that, hey, you know what, you are not welcomed, or I did not like you. If you want to make the other person welcome, you do this is how the message comes across. Right? So yes, body language helps you in building trust. I guess that is the most important aspect in handling teams, in doing business around. Second, it helps you to show that you have the confidence. So there are certain do's and don'ts. If you are doing it right, you come across as confident, and if you don't do it, you may come across as someone who lacks confidence. Right? It helps in your interpersonal skills. My ability to maneuver myself around a different type of personality. It helps me in presenting better. My ideas across to people better. And moreover, I guess once when you know how to read, interpret, you always start with self. So how do you become that kind of person where everybody is comfortable around you? So I guess that is why one should know to read body language in a proper way.
A proper way, right? Because there was one incident where I was, it was a very high critical project where everything was done and my boss was reviewing it, and then there were a couple of errors out there, and then he lost confidence and said I wanted to send it for another review, and somebody came out and he was reviewing it and they found another couple of errors. Okay, so I was sitting in the room and my boss was sitting opposite to me, and this person came inside the room and said there were another 2 errors, right? I said, you found another 2 errors, is it? That's the tone, and probably tone was little shaky there, but then the whole conversation stopped. I did not know that what was going in my boss's mind, and after 2-3 days he called me and said that the another person is coming and telling you that there were 2 errors were found in the high critical project. I think your body language was too casual, and you did not it should be an embarrassment, but why are you so casual? But I was fuming inside. It was embarrassing to me. I came across to my boss that I was casual. Right? So this was coming to my mind, that when you were talking about the congruence of the tone, the body, the facial expressions, tone, the gestures, postures, and all of that. If there is no congruence, that's the mess we're going to be going in. Right?
Right.
That's
so, in general, there are a lot of people who are very good socially. They are very good emotional tappers, like, oh, I know what you're feeling, especially women.
Okay.
Men can decode the tone of voice very well. Women can decode facial expressions 5 to 4 times, more accurate than men. And this is what happens. Certain people are very good with their social interaction.
Okay.
Certain people are like poker face. You will not know what is going within them, and they are the most difficult people to deal with, and that is why people avoid them. That I feel very challenging with this person, because no matter this person is feeling happy, sad, fearful, angry, the face will always remain straight. I am sorry within, but you can't see it on my face. So that expressiveness is what creates a little bit of challenge in the communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's going to be the case, how to decode it? Is there a way?
There is definitely a way. One should learn to express. Okay. Also, one should learn how to read. So depending on the context, you have to question a bit ahead. You have to make the person comfortable. And eventually it's practice. The more you practice because like I said, it's a muscle in our brain. It needs to practice. So how will you build your arm muscle? When you go to gym, you lift weight, you lift your own body weight. There'll be pain. There will be a little bit of, your body will feel sore, but eventually you will gain strength. And that's exactly what we do with body language, GB.
Okay, great. Now moving ahead, since we spoke about body language, reading body language will definitely help, and we can read it. But Deepa, let's get into one specific area where, since this is for middle managers, right? So the managers who goes and talks to the team members and management, and probably sometimes they have to deliver a bad message, or right. So how any manager should hold a body language when they are actually delivering a bad message first?
Very interesting question, JV. So we are talking about delivering a bad message. One, open hands. Don't hide your hands. Don't put it in the pocket. Okay. Don't clutch it onto a file in the hand.
Okay.
Have an open hand. Make sure that 2 people who are talking are at the same level in terms of physicality, meaning if the other person is sitting, you also sit down.
Okay.
Or if in case you are standing, make the other person also stand.
Okay.
And the best way is to deliver it face to face and in an informal way.
Okay.
Come in my cabin, I want to talk to you. You can also go out for a walk. You can also sit in the cafeteria alone over a cup of coffee. Right? So one, if the other person is sitting, you also sit down, have open hands.
Okay.
One of the tricks that really helps in delivering a bad message in a very effective and a subtle way is while you are talking, do the head nod. Okay, not too much of head nod, just 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And you tilt your head either to right or to left.
Okay.
So this gesture of, somehow the research showed that people were more okay. They accepted the bad news rather than standing straight face and delivering the message.
Okay. Interesting.
People understood it better. The speaker came across as more empathetic and concerned in the situation. So I guess this is one of the tips that when you want to deliver, 1, open hands, make sure your hands are visible too. The physical level is the same. Either both of them are sitting or either both of them are standing. Because what happens when one person is sitting down and one is standing, you see the eye gaze goes down. It's like dominant to submissive. We don't want that. We want people to be equal. And the third is, try this tip. I just call it as a 3 head nod and a tilt. So 1, 2.
And tilt. Okay.
Or even when you want to request someone to get your work done, can you please do it for me?
Okay. Very interesting. All right.
Yeah.
So that was a very pretty interesting tip which you have given, Deepa. Now, delivering bad message is fine, and good messages you don't have to, right? You just go and talk to them, and they're going to be okay. Now, when it comes to a team meeting, right? That's where the whole team is going to be there, and you're going to be talking about some presentation or important communication which you're going to be delivering, and probably if you wanted to ask some questions to somebody on some critical projects or status update, everything, right? So what kind of a body language that person should have when he's standing before the crowd?
Let's say it is an event where someone has to speak, okay, or host an event or present something. This is one of the effective tips that we can use even in our day-to-day conversation. Let's say you enter a room full of people and you need to present in front of them. This is what the TED speakers do. So this is again an interesting research that I'm going to talk about. There are various type of topics and speakers that come on TED platform.
Okay.
There is a difference between certain TED videos which has millions and millions of views, and then there are certain videos where there are 1,000 views. What is the difference? The difference is that the speakers that had millions of views, one had an emotional connect, no matter how logical or how number oriented the data is. There was an emotional connect to the story.
Right.
2, they gave hand gestures around more than 600 hand gestures in 20 minutes. Beat that. Compared to a video which has got 1,000 views, those speakers gave around 285 hand gestures in 20 minutes talk. And people where the views were in million, the speakers where they got millions of views, there were around 600 plus gestures in 20 minutes talk. And one effective thing that these speakers did is, the moment you enter the stage, on the TED platform, there's too much of light focus on you. And the audience is typically dark. You get to get the feel, or even when you watch a TED video on YouTube.
Right.
The best of the speakers did this. They request the organizers to please keep the audience light on.
Okay.
They come on the stage and they don't start speaking. They take a deep breath and they gaze through the audience. Within 8 to 7 seconds, this action gets completed. I just need to go stand in the center of the stage, either left to right or right to left. I would just gaze at the audience and then begin my speech. This eye-to-eye contact that you hold with the people who are listening to you creates the synapses, the hormone oxytocin that you want in your people. So that they listen to you. And this helps generate this oxytocin in the system.
Okay. This does work in the meeting rooms as well, right?
Absolutely. Even on one-to-one conversation, this will work. Maintain eye contact with the person you're going to speak with. So let's say you have entered the room with a lot of people.
Okay.
So possibly you would do a formal handshake with those who are at a hand's distance. What do you do to others? You just glance at the room, smile, eye contact, nod. Hello. A smile, eye contact, and a nod is a must way before even if you go and do a handshake. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. Okay. Now since we talked about this, we spoke about addressing crowds, uh, and even the meeting rooms tips which goes in, and as well as the delivering bad message. Now the last and final is that how to talk to the seniors. That's the very important thing, right? Probably in the executives or even the top line management people, right? That's the very important thing, because as a middle managers, they often have to go and talk to their seniors on various projects. So what kind of body language I should have all the time?
Fantastic. Always wear a smile. That's the easiest way that will make you look confident and attractive.
Okay.
Two is, there is a concept in body language which is called as, either you dress up or you dress down.
Okay.
But the idea is to look like the person whom you're interacting with.
Okay.
I'll give you few seconds to just understand this. So once upon a time, GV, I was training in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and I was training, financial distributors as to how to create good first impressions. And in that entire training session, there was this one gentleman who came in coat, formal shirt, tie. I mean, absolutely formal compared to somebody else who was in a jeans t-shirt. Okay, someone has sponsored a training, I'm here to attend.
Okay.
One gentleman out of 40 people, I was like, so what made you dress up today? Do you always dress up like this? He's like, no. I know this is a formal setting. I know there will be a trainer. I saw your profile on LinkedIn. I've seen your YouTube videos. I know I have to match up to your level if I even have to strike a conversation with you. If I have to stand apart, if I have to look different. And then he stood up and he gave an example that I have two types of clients. One is a city client, HNI, and one is a rich farmer in a village.
Okay.
So when I go and meet my corporate, high network individual, okay, so for here, an executive, that would be my senior management, and my subordinate or someone who is my team member as a villager. I'm just giving that as a label and example.
Understood.
When I go and meet my HNI client, I'll go in white shirt. I carry a tie with me. So if in case I feel that the person, when I go, I ring the bell, the person is going to sit formally, I should look like a mirror image to them. I have my formal shoes, I have my trouser, I have my briefcase in which I take my documents, and I have a metal pen which I carry, not the plastic, a metal pen which I carry, because at no given moment, we all want associations who are just like us. We like people who mirror us. But when I meet that person, I should look credible that even I'm just like you. However, game changes when I go to a village. I'll go on a Hero Honda bike. Right. I will remove my white shirt out. I will open few buttons. I will wear 2 gold chains. I'll put a red tikka. And I will take my paper in plastic bag. But then because if a villager sees me getting out of the AC car in flamboyant jacket, they are not going to like me. They are going to move away from me. So when I go to a village, I look like them. And this is what I mean to say. Dress up. When you know you are going to senior management, take that 1 minute washroom break. Go look yourself in the mirror. Clean yourself. Comb your hair. Look good. Smell good. You need to appear confident. You need to appear just like them. When you are meeting a colleague, just remove your tie, keep it aside. Fold your shirt if you want. The idea is, if you want to put your message across, you need to look like that person. However, here's the important tip. Okay. Whenever you are working in any organization, don't look at people who are at the same level. Look people 2 levels above you. Look at their dressing, their grooming. Okay. And when you start looking and acting like them, you eventually also get where they are. This is a very important tip that I got to learn from my mentors, and that works. Because it catches to the law of association. I am a product of 5 things I do every day. I'm a product of 5 friends that I meet every day. I will choose those people very wisely. And don't be specially dressed for our interview days, GV. How do we dress up for the interview? As if I'm already working in that organization. I should look a proper fit. What changes after that? Very. So certain elements that you need to do, that when I have to talk to my senior, I better walk, talk, feel, look like a senior management already. Right. When I want to go and handle my team members, I don't want to come across as someone very different, but I should be able to easily gel along with them. So that's the tip that I would give.
I mean, this is truly amazing which you have given today. Match 2 levels above, right?
Yeah.
So that's really amazing. So if I have to ask you a last final question, Deepa, what is one piece of advice you wanted to give to first line and second line managers?
My piece of advice would be, if you're managing a team, maintain a personal diary.
Okay.
Write down each team member's name and just collect data. In normal situation, how this person speaks, what are their likings, what are their dislikings, what is their date of birth. There is no one communication that fits all. There is no one medicine that cures all your disease. So why do you want to have one communication style that you speak to everybody?
Right.
What is it that this person says under normal circumstances, so that when that changes, I know that this person is under stress or is probably lying?
Okay.
What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What is this person good at?
Okay.
Time and when, what are the skills that person has? What is the background? Have that little bit of biodata about that person with you and keep on making notes. The moment you look at that note, you will get a certain sense of intuitiveness of how to proceed, communicate with them. What is it that really gets them working? What really ticks them off? So the more higher emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills you have, which is related to body language, the more better you will be at managing teams. So before you want to manage a team, you may have process, brainstorming sessions, everything, but each and every individual needs to be spoken differently. So there are certain people, for them it becomes very important that you ask them how they are doing before you even start delegating them. Deepa, how was your day? How's everyone at home? All well, how are you? Okay, now this is the work that I want you to do. There are certain people who are like, boss, give me the most challenging work, I will go out there and do it for you.
Right.
With them, don't ask how's family member, how's friends. They are not bothered. They are bothered about, are you giving me a task which is challenging enough? Challenging enough for me to lead alone. Don't give me any team members. Do I understand that need as a manager? That is what is important. So I guess this would be the tip, is to maintain your own personal book about your close team members. Make note of them so that when time comes, you can easily tap on to their nerve, which will get your work done.
Thank you very much, Deepa. This is one tip which I've never heard so far. Using a personal diary of, collecting details of team members and use it.
In fact, if someone wants to practice, okay, now this colleague of mine, I don't know, he's a new joinee. You can start practicing with your own family members. Make a column: mother, father, sister, wife, whoever. And you will come to see that if I have 5 family members, they are like all over the place. Nobody is similar to each other. So how, flexible and how agile I have to be, you will realize.
Very true. Very true. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Deepa, for your time and, the insights and knowledge which you have shared. I'm truly grateful to you for the knowledge and wisdom you have shared today. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to help a lot of people on delivering bad messages, stand in front of the crowd and talk confidently, and also manage the team. And the last tip, which is your personal diary, which is my favorite one. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much for the time and support.
You're most welcome, GV. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. This is, in fact, my first ever podcast interview. And if I had to analyze from a non-verbal aspect, I would be giving more weightage to my tone of voice. So obviously, for all those who are listening, fair, but you will get the more essence of it if you watch this on YouTube, because it's body language. So there are a lot of facial expressions and actions that I'm doing right now, which probably you will be able to feel it. But to see it, you need to actually watch the videos. So
exactly,
that's how it is.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned, guys. The next podcast is coming up on next Wednesday. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Stay positive.
Thank you. Bye-bye.